I hope you have unlimited text messaging. By Miss Garr. Chapter 133, Interlude 26, Catching Up. The Mechanic. Hey, Platypus! I heard that the Avengers and the ATCU were responsible for dealing with the Watchdog terrorist attack, and now the media and the public completely adores us. I figured you would have used that as the perfect time to relaunch S.H.I.E.L.D., or at least that's what Mr. PR would have suggested. The Mechanic. Kudos on the Watchdogs being named a terrorist organization. Of course, President Ellis waited until after the results were in, but since he's never going to run for re-election, he can now actually make unpopular decisions. Maybe the next 4 years will be a little more tolerable, less pandering to the hate-mongering demographic. Me. Now you're actually contacting me. I've been trying to call you for the last 3 days. Do you have any idea how many text messages and emails I've sent you? Did you throw your phone in the ocean again? Agent Piper said that Steve was hit. Is he okay? The Mechanic. Yes, and already healed up. There's barely a red spot. The Mechanic. And sorry, I just started checking messages again. The real phone, anyway. Steve may have accidentally crushed it during activities. Okay, the press managed to get through the Friday filters, and Steve reacted badly. After that, I upped the Friday filters to notify only in the event of terrorist activities or an apocalypse. Apparently, the Avengers getting back in the good graces of the US government didn't quite meet the criteria. Me. For some reason, I don't believe you. If you would have called me earlier, I would have told you about the decision to give the credit to the Avenger Initiative and not S.H.I.E.L.D. Technically, Agents Rodriguez and May have been detailed to the initiative, and I'm planning for Agent Leopold to also join. The Mechanic. The joys of technicalities. Although, why did you decide to go that way? I mean, after the Germany fiasco, we probably can use some good publicity. But our bad publicity was caused by villain manipulation, infighting, and miscommunication, which was triggered by the Murderbot fiasco. But that's a Tony problem, not an Avengers problem. Me. S.H.I.E.L.D.'s bad publicity was caused by accidentally incubating a terrorist organization. You can come back from Murderbots or infighting, but not accidentally incubating a terrorist organization. Me. Recent meetings with various senators have made me realize that they are never going to trust the S.H.I.E.L.D. Homeland Intervention Enforcement and Logistics Division. Leo and others made me realize that the public will be even less trusting. We are going to have to take a different approach. The Mechanic. Jeffrey brought out charts. Me. Yes, and I'm surprised you remembered his name. Leo had some very compelling arguments as well. The Mechanic. So S.H.I.E.L.D. will be staying in the shadows. Me. In a way, the new Superhuman, Inhuman, and Enhanced Liaison Division will stay as an office under the ATCU in cooperation with the UN. The Mechanic. So you're going to be going the rebranding route. Clever. Me. Your AI came up with a new name. The Mechanic. Of course she did. I think she wants to become a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent when she grows up. The Mechanic. Hey, are you still going to be under General T? Now that President Ellis is getting another 4 years, does this mean that Tabbitt will be dealing with a confirmation hearing? Me. No, because Ellis has other plans for him. The Mechanic. Please don't say State Department. They deserve better after Ross. Me. National Security Advisor, with the current one becoming the new S. The Mechanic. That doesn't make me feel better. The Mechanic. The Tabbitt thing. Madeline Rice is like one of the few competent members of Ellis's inner circles that turned out not to be Hydra. Me. The other option was General Hale. The Mechanic. Now I'm okay with Tabbitt being the new National Security Advisor. Definitely an improvement over a vice president that tries to kill you. And of course, Ross. Not that it would be hard. Although, please tell me that the Homeland Security lady doesn't end up anywhere in the cabinet. I really should have paid more attention to reports about the new cabinet. Me. No. The Mechanic. Good. I am really glad Rice is going to state. Me. Although you should know that the president originally wanted me for that position. The Mechanic. Wait, what? Me. He wanted to nominate me for Secretary of State. If you say anybody would be a step up from Ross, I will hurt you. The Mechanic. Why did you say no? Me.
because I think Rice is more qualified. Most of my diplomatic experience involves getting you out of jail in various countries. The mechanic. You were good at it, though. The current Undersecretary for Environment, Economics, and Energy used to be one of my execs at SI before she took the job. So there's precedence. The mechanic. Also, this way you don't have to be under General T. So it is a win-win for you, and maybe the president will just name you the head of the ATCU instead. Me. That can't happen until the accords are renegotiated and re-ratified. Whoever ends up in charge will just be enacting until that happens. The watchdog attacks made a lot of world governments realize the flaws in the accords, and they're willing to go back to the negotiating table. The mechanic. Common sense prevails. Me. However, if Rice is confirmed, I agree to be nominated for the position of Deputy Secretary. The mechanic. So why are you okay with being Deputy Secretary instead of Secretary? Me. Because Deputy Secretary of State would be the chief negotiator when it comes to renegotiating the accords. Negotiations could begin as early as February if the new State Department is in place by then. The mechanic. This is good. Maybe I'll get to live in the same country as my boyfriend before the next alien invasion. Fingers crossed. Me. Only if the right person is in charge of the negotiations. The mechanic. The boyfriend believes that the best hands are our own. I personally don't trust my own hands, but I trust yours. Of the two of us, you were always the better decision maker. Me. It's not a done thing. I would have to get through a confirmation hearing after Rice goes through hers. Although, as you mentioned earlier, she is one of Ellis's most trusted advisors. The mechanic. Like that's going to be that hard. Ross got through one. As well as his predecessor, and that guy was Hydra. And Malik! Rice will be easily confirmed, and you will be as well. The mechanic. Also, the boyfriend just reminded me that Pierce also went through multiple confirmation hearings. I'm starting to lose faith in the confirmation process if people like that can get through. The mechanic. But hey, that means you will definitely get the job, which means better accords for everybody. Me and your boyfriend back in the same country. The mechanic. That would just be a nice bonus. Although, if you go to the State Department to renegotiate the accords, who will be in charge of Secret Shield? I don't think you can do both. Me. Coulson will be director of the Superhuman, Inhuman, and Enhanced Liaison Division, with Mackenzie as his deputy. The mechanic. You put a rule on your phone to type that out, didn't you? Me. Yes, I think by 2018 we will be able to use the acronym. At least that's what Jeffrey believes. The mechanic. And what about Mr. Patriotism? Me. Demoted to head of PR for the ATCU. I don't like liars, even if Tabbitt was the one originally responsible for trying to create the next Captain America. The mechanic. I feel like there's a story there. Me. There is, but your phone is not encrypted enough for that conversation. The mechanic. I resent that, but considering the princess is probably reading my text messages, I also respect that. Me. That reminds me, when you get back from whichever country you're in, the president wants to set up a meeting with you. I don't know what country you're in because Piper won't tell me. For security reasons. The mechanic. She's the best. I hope the president wants to meet with me to apologize for not listening to me when I told him that the superpower person database could be used for bad purposes like terrorist-driven genocide. Tuesday could have been a bloodbath. Me. I know! The mechanic. Hey, how is the kid? Me. Which kid? You have several. We practically have a Young Avengers roster in the making. The mechanic. The spiders in Miss Marvel. I'm sure the Purple Arrow children were kept safe from the watchdog attacks. Mostly because they're not in the database at all. Me. You're right. The Purple Arrow children were not affected at all. Also, Miss Marvel is good. The idiots trying to attack the cop-out were picked up by a SHIELD team before the watchdogs got anywhere near the place. They are in custody. The mechanic. That's good. What about the spiders? Me. That's where it gets more complicated. Spidey Sr. whipped up several members of the watchdogs before they could attack another Inhuman that lives in his building. The mechanic. That's good. Me. Except one of them was Spider Jr.'s father. The mechanic. Okay, that's bad. Very bad. Although, what do you expect when you share a name with the President of the Confederacy? His primary name, anyway. Me. He said that he was undercover, but Spidey Jr.'s mom does not believe him. Not entirely. And honestly, I'm not sure if I do either. Maybe he was undercover, but I feel like he shares too many of their beliefs. The mechanic. Maybe he was undercover, but got sucked into the philosophy. You know that happens sometimes. Me. I could see that happening. The mechanic. And that explains why Spider-Mom left a really long voicemail asking if the nursing position at the Avenger compound was still available. Me. Is it available? The mechanic. It will be, even though I'm the only Avenger there. Besides the bulletproof pacifist, and he is technically a reservist. He's also only there part-time thanks to spider sitting. Me. He actively helped Spidey with the watchdogs. He melted all their guns. I don't think he's that much of a reservist anymore. The mechanic. Point. I'll deal with it when I get back. It would be nice to have another non-shield Avenger. I'm so lonely. The mechanic. Have you talked to Pepper Pot recently? I saw that the media is mostly talking about me again, but I'm concerned. Me. Yes, multiple times because you haven't returned her phone calls. Probably because you've been preoccupied with the boyfriend. The mechanic. Point. But I would like some intel before I call. Me. She's glad that they're no longer talking about her breakup. She really wishes that the Watchdog's attempted assassination of you was not the reason for it. She also really wants you to call her. Although she understands why you haven't because you're probably busy with your boyfriend. The mechanic. Very busy. But that's because I'm going to have to leave in 3 days. There may have also been some long conversations about what changes need to be made to the Accords for the Secret Avengers to be willing to sign them. Me, which we will talk about when you get back. The mechanic. Regardless, I do want to talk to Pepper Pot. Also, I will have Mary get Spider-Mom set up with a new job away from the husband. Me. And Leo, you really need to return his email. The mechanic. Okay, I'm well aware I'm neglecting everybody. And I promise I will take a rest break and at least reply to a few emails before I go back to the shirtless Stefan in my bed. He's just so tempting. Absolutely edible. Me. I did not need to know that. Also, Leo's request is time sensitive. We might have a situation and we need your AI to help. The mechanic. He's on the pre-approved list to use Friday for whatever needs necessary list. So are you, for that matter. Me. I'm so glad you trust me. The mechanic. I do. You're my oldest friend. You also punched Tyler in the dick after the sex tape incident, which I will forever be grateful for. Me. It was worth getting arrested for, especially after the legal team made it go away. The mechanic. What are friends for? I'll see you next week. We could do lunch after my presidential meeting. Me. I hope I'll be done with this mess by then. This case has been weird by even S.H.I.E.L.D. standards. The mechanic, which is always quite an accomplishment.